Israel continues to attack the facilities of the Palestinian movement Islamic Jihad as well as its fighters in the Gaza Strip. The operation was called Shield and Arrow and was a response to the shelling of Israeli territory from Gaza in early May. At the time, in retaliation for the death of Islamic Jihad leader Qadir Adnan in a hunger strike in an Israeli prison, Palestinian groups fired dozens of rockets into Israel. The Israelis retaliated by striking at the Islamic Jihad infrastructure, an operation that was short and without casualties. Such a restrained response has caused controversy within the ruling coalition in Israel. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has been accused of softness, both within his own Likud party and within the allied extreme right parties. It turned out, however, that Israel was determined not to stop it. On the night of May 9, the Israeli Air Force attacked the Gaza Strip. 3 high-ranking members of the Islamic Jihad were killed. Along with them were killed 2 other militants and 10 civilians, including children. After that, the traditional Islamic Jihad response was expected in Israel, but the movement decided to stall for time. Rockets to Israel flew only in the afternoon of May 10. More than 500 rockets were fired from the Gaza Strip during a day. More than half of them landed on Palestinian territory, including some of them causing casualties. Israel, for its part, was not ceremonious, harshly responding to all the attacks. In all, at least 28 Palestinians were killed in the days of the Israeli operation. They were both Islamic Jihad fighters, responsible for the rocket launches and ordinary citizens. In Israel, the first death toll became known on the evening of May 11. A rocket hit an apartment building in the city of Rehovot in the center of the country. Another 7 people were injured. Almost as soon as the Israeli military operation began, mediators got involved in resolving the crisis. First of all, Egypt, which tried to prevent the conflict from escalating on the part of the Islamic Jihad. However, according to Arab media reports, the leaders of the Palestinian movement initially simply did not respond to calls from Cairo. But after Israel literally went after the leaders of Islamic Jihad, Egyptian mediation was in demand. Qatar, Jordan, and United Nations officials also joined the talks. On the evening of May 10, it seemed that Islamic Jihad had fired the traditional final salvo before the ceasefire. But news of the agreement never came, and Israel did not stop the military operation. On the night of May 11, Ali Hassan Ghali, a member of the Islamic Jihad military leadership and commander of its missile unit, and 2 other militants were liquidated. Ali Hassan Ghali's deputy was later added to this list. For their part, the Palestinians also continued rocket fire. On the morning of May 11, representatives of Islamic Jihad arrived in Cairo. According to Arab media, the Palestinians put forward clear conditions for a ceasefire agreement: the return of Qadir Adnan's body, an end to Israeli operations to eliminate members of the movement, and the cancellation of the traditional Israeli flag march on Jerusalem Day, which often provokes escalation in the region. According to the Israeli newspaper Haaretz, Israel is not going to abandon the practice of targeted liquidations, but is ready to respect the ceasefire agreement if it is concluded. Israel is also against including the issue of Qadir Adnan's body in the deal. It was already going to return him to his family next week and does not want it to be seen as a credit to Islamic Jihad. So negotiations continue. One of the big questions these days is whether the Palestinian movement Hamas, which actually controls the Gaza Strip, will join in launching rockets at Israel. According to one version, Islamic Jihad was delaying its response to Israel after eliminating its fighters on May 9 because it hoped to present a united front with Hamas. This was particularly insisted on by Iran, which has long supported Islamic Jihad, but also engaged in dialogue with Hamas. But Hamas has confined itself to making political statements to the effect that the forces of resistance to Israel are a united front and that the decision to bombard them was made jointly. Hamas has not deployed its military resources. The regional media claimed that Israel had warned Hamas that it would not touch its targets if the movement remained on the sidelines. Hamas's involvement in rocket attacks on Israel would inevitably lead to an expansion of the Israeli operation in the Gaza Strip. So far, however, both Israel and Hamas are interested in each other, at least finding common ground and respecting the agreements made 2 years ago. The Israelis let Qatar transfer money to Hamas to pay civil servants, and they also give work permits to thousands of Palestinians from Gaza. For its part, Hamas does not let the situation in Gaza get out of hand, knowing that it will be responsible in the eyes of the Palestinians and many Arab countries for all the consequences of Israeli strikes. on Gaza in the event of an expansion of hostilities. It is no coincidence that there are reports that Islamic Jihad has complained to Iran that Hamas has surrendered some of the movement's important facilities to the Israelis. It is clear, however, that Islamic Jihad would never have gone to large-scale bombardment of Israel without Hamas's permission. Hamas could not keep silent at all, otherwise it would have lost its reputation as the leading force of the Palestinian resistance, and it is possible that if the Israeli operation in Gaza drags on and the number of Palestinian casualties increases, they will have to join the confrontation, despite their desire to remain on the sidelines. However, the Israelis also have no interest in prolonging and expanding the fighting. As the death toll in Gaza rises, so will the international community's pressure on them. The United States has supported Israel, including by refusing to accept the UN Security Council statement condemning its action, but it has made it clear that it needs to move toward de-escalation. Thank you for watching this video to the end. Subscribe to the channel and write your opinion in the comments.